Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about the general overview about Barcelona and Real Madrid. In the next phase of this video, we're also going to be talking about Xavi's formula and how he plans on beating Real Madrid. And in the next phase of this video, we're also going to be talking about what Xavi Hernandez had to say during the pre-match press conference that does connect with the formula that is going to be introduced by Xavi in order to beat Real Madrid. And then lastly, we are going to be speculating and predicting exactly what the starting 11 is going to be against Real Madrid. So starting with the overview of this game, Real Madrid and Barcelona are going to be battling it out in the final for the Spanish Super Cup on Sunday night. Last year, around this time, Barcelona emerged victorious in a 3-1 win with goals coming from Lewandowski, from Pedri, and from Xavi. It was an amazing match and probably one of the best performances that Barcelona has ever put out under Xavi Hernandez. Now, in terms of what Real Madrid did in their previous match for the Spanish Super Cup, they have just came off a 5-3 win against Atletico Madrid. It was a thrilling game. On the other hand, Barcelona just beat Osasuna 2-0. And as for their overall current form, Real Madrid is in first place in La Liga, Barcelona is in third place. It would be important for Barcelona to defeat Real Madrid in this final because that is what's going to allow them to believe that they can get into first place in La Liga. But it won't be easy. The reason why Barcelona are in third place in La Liga is because Real Madrid have already beaten Barcelona this season overall. And in that previous Clásico match, which was a league match, Bellingham took the spotlight and was crucial to the victory of Real Madrid. So the game is going to be kicking off at 7 p.m. BST time. The venue is going to be at the KSU Stadium. And again, this match will be played on January 14th. It is expected that Valverde from Real Madrid is going to be fit for the final. He did pick up a knock in the semifinal. As for the other players, Ancelotti is planning on using Camavinga and Toni Kroos in the starting 11. They could be potential options, and most likely we could be seeing Kroos come in for Modric. As for Barcelona, Rafinha is not going to be playing in this match. He is injured. Meanwhile, we do have our players back, like Pedri, who is going to be so important for this match if Barcelona truly want to control this game. So now let's move on towards the next phase and let's talk about Xavi's formula and what he plans to do against Real Madrid. It's going to come down to 4 different points. Point number 1, he wants possession dominance. It is part of Barcelona's game. So Xavi Hernandez is going to be aiming to control the game through effective ball retention. Point number 2, he's going to want to overload the midfield. Xavi's strategy to dominate Real Madrid is to have multiple players in the middle of the pitch, because when you have players like Camavinga, Bellingham, or either Modric or Kroos and Valverde in there, knowing that they're world-class players, of course Xavi Hernandez is going to be saying, I want Frankie, I want Gundogan, I want Pedri, and I want Sergio Roberto in the middle of the pitch, or Fermin Lopez in the middle of the pitch. We need 4 total midfielders. Moving on towards point number 3, he wants defensive discipline. This Barcelona team that we have been seeing as of late, they have been known for making ridiculous individual defensive mistakes, and we cannot allow that to happen against Real Madrid in this final. We have to be disciplined. We have to be very well aware of the type of team that Real Madrid is. They have a player like Bellingham who is able to run through the middle with the ball. They have a pacey player like Vinicius who can make those runs from behind the defense. Discipline will be the most important thing for this Barcelona team on this night. And lastly, Xavi Hernandez is planning on implementing the 4-man system. This tactical setup is going to enhance Barcelona's ability to dictate the flow of this game. We have seen Barcelona try this before in the previous season and it was successful. The fact that Xavi Hernandez is going back to his roots from where he started comes by no surprise. So now let's move on towards the next phase and talk about Xavi's approach on facing Real Madrid and what he has been saying through this press conference. They have asked him whether his players feel motivated and enthusiastic, and this is what Xavi said, and I quote, "The intensity of motivation and enthusiasm, it is at its highest. It is the ideal scenario for a footballer, player, a coach, and the team. I hope that last year's scenario will be repeated." And that is what I mean, right? This is exactly what I said in the previous 4 to 5 videos. If Barcelona can get a great win against Osasuna and they play well, they will have motivation. They will have enthusiasm to play their football, and this is exactly what Xavi Hernandez has been explaining. Moving on towards the next one, they have asked him about his reaction to Real Madrid having a reaction to a strong Barcelona, and this is what he said, and I quote, "I have the feeling that Madrid is stronger when Barcelona is stronger. Since I have been in office, if we have won any title, we have had to go through Real Madrid. They react when they see a strong Barcelona. Everything is very equal in terms of titles as well." And yes, this is very true. Every time we see Barcelona doing well, Real Madrid is also going to want to do well sportingly. There is always always this competitive edge between these two clubs, and that is what makes this rival match so special. Like, yes, there are other rival matches like AC Milan versus Inter Milan, Man City versus Manchester United, or maybe Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich, but nothing compares to what El Clasico is. El Clasico is truly special, and you can feel that they want to be better and they want to up each other. Like, if Real Madrid get good, Barcelona are also going to be getting good. If Barcelona get good, Real Madrid are going to find a way to get good. They even follow Barcelona's transfer plans. Like, for example, Barcelona wanted Arda Güler. They're trying to lock down a deal. Real Madrid got into the plans and they said, we also want Arda Güler. So there is competition everywhere, sportingly and even business-wise. And I do think that if Real Madrid and Barcelona make each other better, it makes Spanish football even better, and the league. Now we're going to be getting to a very important part, because the journalist asked him what he thinks about Real Madrid's current system. So Xavi was analyzing what Real Madrid have been doing this season specifically, and a lot of things have changed. So this is what he said. Madrid has changed its system. They attack spaces. They play practically with 4 midfielders. They use Tchouaméni, Valverde, Modric, and Bellingham, which is what he's referring to. They use a total of 4 midfielders. Last season, Real Madrid were functioning off of Valverde, Cruz, and Modric, and that's it. 3 total midfielders. The only reason why they're able to do 4 midfielders this season is because they took out one attacker, which was Benzema. He's now in Saudi Arabia, and they added a midfielder in his place, which is why we see Bellingham as a 10. And in that way, Real Madrid are always able to be very superior in the middle of the pitch. To Xavi Hernandez, he finds this as a problem, and that is why he's approaching this 4-man midfield, is because he knows that there is a battle to be won there, and he wants to place the best quality players in the pitch. So you guys can see already what type of lineup we could see in a couple of hours. Then they asked Xavi, what about your defensive strategy? What about Araujo? What are you going to do with a team that knows how to score a lot of goals, and especially with Araujo and Vinicius? So this is what Xavi said. I can't give clues because I would do Ancelotti a favor. We will see tomorrow. Araujo, whether he plays, is a guarantee. On a defensive level and how he has improved with the ball, he has improved a lot with the ball since we were in charge. Meaning that, right? Just think about this. In the past few Clásicos, maybe the past 1 to 2 Clásicos, we have not seen Araujo play as a right back. We had Koundé on the right back position, especially in the previous Clásico. It turned out to be a problem for Xavi's Barcelona, and I think that he's very well aware that tomorrow we're probably going to have to see Araujo in the right back position. Ideally, we would love to have Koundé as a right back with Araujo and Christensen as our center back options, but for this game specifically, Xavi Hernandez will be taking a completely different approach. Araujo will be in the right back position to take care of Vinicius. There's too much pace that is going to be going through the left flank, and Araujo has to be there. Now, here's the thing. If Araujo is really going to be there on the right back position, you know who else is going to be in the middle of the pitch making those runs through the middle? Bellingham, the player that really does know how to score, and knows how to score whether it's a tap in inside the box due to a arrival or a long shot. We have seen that happen already, meaning that Koundé and Christensen are going to also play very important roles. They're going to have to play their best defensive game. Yes, I would much rather have Araujo get into the center back pairings, but because Vinicius is also there, we're going to have to shift him. So I really do beg for Koundé to have a great defensive display. I have not seen Koundé have great defensive displays as of late consistently. He has some games where he is doing well, but on a consistent basis, he hasn't been really there. And I hope that Koundé clicks with Christensen and they tap out Bellingham, because he will be very, very dangerous. And again, I know that Xavi Hernandez is eyeing this. So now let's talk about the 4-man midfield and Barcelona's identity, which was something that Xavi Hernandez wanted to add. And so this is what Xavi said. It's not up to Pedri whether or not I will play with 4 midfielders. He is 100%, and we'll see the names. I have a clear idea. The identity must be ours. The Barcelona DNA. Take the ball away from Real Madrid. And then he continues. The idea doesn't change even though we play with 4 or 3 midfielders. It is about fixing, of triangulations, and of numerical superiority, and DNA that Johan Cruyff instilled 13 years ago. Last year, we were very proud of Barcelona in the final, and that is the path we are looking for, faithful to Cruyffism. And so I think that if we want to have that superior approach all over the pitch against Real Madrid, knowing that they're going to be very hard, these players are really going to have to want it. They're going to have to give 110% focus. We need to create triangles everywhere. We need to give options to all players, not just the defense. We have to be fully supportive of one another and play our game, because we have to represent our football well. We need to win and represent our football well, most importantly. And that is what Xavi Hernandez has been saying. So based off the information that we have been given, and especially through this press conference, this is going to be the exact lineup that I think Xavi Hernandez will be placing out. Iñaki Peña in goal, our defensive line being Araujo on the right back position, because remember, we need to take care of Vinicius, with Koundé and Christensen as our center back pairing, and Alejandro Balde on the left back position. Our 4-man midfield is going to consist of Frankie and Gundogan. Frankie and Gundogan are going to be acting as supporting roles to support our center backs and our goalkeeper, making sure that there is always options in the defensive line and from the goalkeeper. They need to have options. They need to find an outlet. Frankie and Gundogan are going to have to be there, and that is how you create that superior approach to Real Madrid, because they're going to want to press us. Then having Sergio Roberto and Pedri in the middle. Pedri will be the false left winger and taking care of the left side of the midfield. Yes, I know that many are going to be questioning, why Sergio Roberto? Why does Sergio Roberto have to start? He's not good enough. To me, I think that Sergio Roberto is more than capable. He has the most experience. He is a veteran. He is mature. He knows what it's like to play against Real Madrid, and he usually does show up against Real Madrid. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Sergio Roberto usually has a great game against Real Madrid. Most importantly, he is our captain, our first captain, and so I expect him to be there with Pedri and to dictate the flow of the game. I think that he will do tremendously well. Many people do tend to underrate Sergio Roberto, but he will provide value. Trust me. If he's there and he's 100% focused and everybody else is doing their part, we will have a great and dominant game. Pedri, him playing as a false left winger, he has already approached playing in areas like that. I think that he will play and he will start and he will have a great game. On the attacking side, we're probably going to be having Lamine Yamal and Lewandowski. Now, I don't see Vitor Roque playing in the match. Yes, he is 100% healthy. Many were saying that Vitor Roque is probably injured or whatever, right? There has been reports, and yes, it is true that Vitor Roque did approach some sort of like nibble in the previous game, but Vitor is okay. He's 100% fine, but I still don't see him starting or even playing. I do think though that Fermin Lopez will play and Ferran Torres will play. I think that Fermin Lopez will come in for either Sergio Roberto. As a matter of fact, Sergio Roberto for sure. Fermin Lopez will come in for Sergi and bring that goal scoring ability in the middle of the pitch. With Ferran Torres, I think that he'll replace Lamine Yamal. And it's also kind of hard to say whether Joao Felix will play. I think that he will play. I just don't know what Xavi Hernandez is going to do, because this whole four-man midfield does change a lot of things. Like, I would have placed Joao Felix on the left flank, but Pedri is going to be there. So I don't know if Felix will see his chances. Maybe he will. Maybe by the time Felix does come in, we approach the three-man midfield and not the four-man midfield, because I just can't see Joao Felix coming into any of these positions within a four-man midfield lineup. Ideally, if Xavi were to use Joao Felix, I would just have him come in for Lamine Yamal and Joao Felix will float on the left side, and Pedri will have to invert in to leave room to Joao Felix to do his football, and then you have that Pedri and Joao Felix connection. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.